Hello, my crafting friends. It's Tammy at Creative Girl Vintage, and we're going to kick off a little holiday crafting today. I designed this for you, and I have a kit available. I'm going to show you everything that's tucked inside of here, and of course, we're going to put it all together. This video serves as a tutorial for this paper crafting kit, as well as crafting inspiration or just an idea for your next crafting project. So let's leave room for a little magic and make this enchanted Halloween fairy. You will need some basic crafting supplies for this project, like your scissors. I use a couple of different glues. Glitter is always optional. I'll add that list of everything that we're going to be using and the product links in the description box below this video for you. Okay, so let's get started by taking our paper out of here. And we're going to start getting that put together. All right, so you will find your beautiful little enchanted witch, your tag, butterfly wings, and there are 3 pieces of vintage book page. Let me move her out of the way so we don't mess anything up there. Okay, let's get something here to cover our surface. Let's get the witch out first. Get a book page ready. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do a rough cut all the way around her. Basically, we're just getting rid of excess paper. Okay, just getting all that excess out of our way. All right, let's flip her over. I'm using the Scotch permanent glue stick. Honestly, you guys, any glue stick I find works here just fine. Just make sure you don't get the repositional one, because that one is meant to be able to lift up and move around, and we don't want that. We want a good permanent hold on this. And sometimes you can look at the way the light is reflecting on this, and you can see that you got a nice even coat on the back. All right, and book page, gonna lay her down right here, and I like to go around and just make sure she's down really good and that I don't have any sticky glue on my fingers, because that'll kind of muck things up. It'll muck up your image. All right, I'm going to do that exact same thing that we did there with the butterfly wings and the tag. All right, so we'll have all that ready. And then what we're going to do is grab a book, put that under the book, let that sit there and let that paper flatten out, let that glue dry, and move on to another thing we kind of have to prep and get ready. So you'll see that I put all the little trinkets that you're going to need to make this fairy in this kit for you. It's all in there. Hold on, I'm going to just cut that sticky part off that bag so I can get these things out better. Okay, all right. What I'm needing right now, though, is this toothpick. So I'm using a pair of really old crappy scissors here. You can use, if you've got your little cutters, work good here too. And I'm cutting off one of these pointed ends. This is going to be our magic wand. I think I end up here with like 2 inches. You know, you don't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect here. And then I used this was a champagne gold metallic paint, which I thought was really pretty, but you can use any gold, any color, anything you like. And even if you don't want to paint your magic wand, you could always use your distress ink. And this is really pretty too, because on this bare wood, you know, you can just kind of dress it up here where, you know, it really looks good, and that's really quick, and it cuts down on drying time too. So that's another great thing, another little option there for you. Okay, so let us assume right now that, all right, we don't want to lose all of our little bits. put them right there. Let us just assume while our paint is drying that we've let maybe 20 minutes pass so we can get a little bit of drying time for this glue here. I usually go up and like unload my dishwasher or something. And I am just going to use my little cutter bee scissors here. Okay, these are so good. I know a lot of you have them. They're just good for the fussy cutting. They're very tiny and very precise. And you can just really enjoy yourself cutting out all this little tiny stuff. So I'm going to take and I am going to go around all 3 pieces, and as you can see, using this book page here on the back, we get a really beautiful effect on the back of our fairy. So that's why we're doing this. We don't want any plain old boring white paper, right? So I'm going to continue to cut all of these pieces out here very carefully and just enjoy myself cutting. All right, when you have your images cut out and ready to go, the first thing I like to do, of course, I always get out the old distress ink. You know, we love that. I felt like for this project, it was extra special because this sweet little witch here just came alive with this beautiful vintage ink on here. And now I'm using the vintage photo. Okay. The wings. I designed these wings, I think last year. I was going to do a project and I never did. And then when I was working on this one, I was thinking, yeah, that's going to be good to pair those things up right there. Okay, and then this tag. You can see the tag was just plain white paper and how really nice it looks with that ink. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, this is a hole punch, and you guys can see it's a little tiny hole punch. It's a lot smaller. I'll find it and link it for you down there, but I'm going to punch out a hole in the tag. You can see how small that hole is. And I'm also going to punch 2 holes right here on her shoulder. Okay, now if you don't have one of these, you could always use, if you have an awl, you know, put something underneath here so you don't ruin a table, and push this through and make yourself a hole. Okay, and let's flip her. We're going to use this craft stick right here, and as you can see, it goes from the top of her hat down to the bottom of her boot right here. I'm going to use hot glue. Sorry guys, my cord was completely tangled up around everything. Okay, all right, using the hot glue, I'm going to run a bead of that all the way down here and quickly lay my stick right on that. And just make sure it's kind of centered on her foot and her hat there so it's not peeking out from the other side. Okay, this is going to make her nice and strong. And she will be a cute ornament for years to come. Here is the wire we're going to be using today that's in the kit. This is a 20 gauge. And it's a soft wire, so you can work it with your hands really well. I do maybe an inch and fold it over on itself. And you can decide too how big or little you want this and adjust it at this point. There we go. Okay, hanger in place. Piece of gingham, black and white gingham. Let us just tie this on here since we're working on our hanger. All right, and you know, you can always take time to fiddle and fuss with your bows. Okay, and here's a piece of ecru lace that's in here, and what I'm going to do is cut this on an angle like this, because I'm wanting like a smaller waist and a flared skirt. All right, so there's like the first piece right there, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it over here, cut another little angle, lay that on, and now we just made a cute skirt. Okay, bit of hot glue works good here. And you can lay her skirt right there. Okay, let's take our beautiful butterfly here. I'm going to bend the wings of the butterfly like this. You can see the body is staying a little flat, so it gives us a glue surface. Let's flip her over. Well, first I like to see sort of where I want to place my wings, where I think they look good. All right, I like that. Hot glue, oops. You know what, I do need a new hot glue gun. I have been using that thing forever. It's falling apart. Okay, and then we'll lay this right on that glue. Okay. Sorry, that got a little wonky, but I think you guys know what's going on there. All right. A little extra glue, but that's okay. Okay, so she has a real cute three-dimensional look with those wings. All right, now let us just move her over a bit and pull out our magic wand here. All right, I'm going to be gluing everything on the pointed part, and I have for you here, these are metallic pink stars. They're just so pretty. Let's lay those right there. We're going to take a little bit of the hot glue. This is where I love this little Surebonder hot glue, you guys. I mean, it's so precise. And I think once you use it, you won't want another one. It's like the best one. I'm going to lay this right down on that star. Okay. And I'm going to put another dot of glue right on the other side. Lay it down on this star. You got like a second or two if you want to position it. Okay, so there's our wand, and this is some really pretty sparkle here, and it was kind of hard to tie it around that wand, so I just started by making a little loop in here. Okay, and then I slipped this in. All right, let me find the edge here. Kind of got away from me. Hold on, let me start over. All right. I hate trying to make things harder than what they are, but I lost my end there. All right. Okay, there we go. Slip her in and then tighten it off. Okay, and at this point, if you want, you can tie it again, or I just put tiny bit of glue there just to stop that from going anywhere. And if you like, you can trim some of that excess off. I added some extra in there just so you'd have enough for tying on. All right, let's bring her in here. And I positioned this right on her hand. Small dot hot glue, and kind of the bottom of the wand, just laid it right in that glue right there. We'll give it a moment to grab hold. Okay, all right, we've got some final touches coming up here with all these stars, and we've got our tag, and let's finish up putting her together. Final touches. Okay, there is a black safety pin for you. We're going to pop it through that hole there on our tag. Now you can really go anywhere you want to go with this. You can put this on her dress, on the wire. I'm going to actually just put it through the hole at her shoulder where that wire went in, and we'll close that up. And there's her tag in place. And in the kit, I added a whole bunch of different size stars for you. So you can really do with these whatever you like. I'm going to be using a clear gel tacky glue. You could use a white glue, any glue really. The reason I was using this is because I wanted something where I could put like just a dot of glue. Okay, and then when I took my star, I'm a gold star here, I just laid it right onto the glue. I have to say I didn't really care for the hot glue for this project at all. So I thought, let's just hook it on, hook all of our stars on with this, and put a star here on the tag. There's a whole bunch of them in there, so you guys can just really put your stars wherever you like. And what I did for a finishing touch is I used my stickles, and I pulled the gold stickles, and let's see, she had some buttons right here, so I thought that was pretty. And I just went around and I added the stickles to my stars, which I thought really added a wonderful, cute little finishing touch. But you know what? It's just optional, totally up to you. I think even regular glitter, you can glitter her up. You can just do whatever makes you happy. And I think these turned out super, super adorable for a Halloween ornament, a fall decoration. I just love how sweet she looks. This is a little thank you that I tucked in the back of your kit. It's a really cute doll. She would be so cute for journaling, or just making another little ornament, just whatever you want. There's another banner that says make a little magic, and this black cat, he's super cute, and I was thinking this cat would really look cute to add to, maybe, you know, cut it out and put it kind of sitting at the bottom of your little witch's dress right here. That would be sweet too. So this is just for you to enjoy, use your imagination, and I thank you so much in advance. Thank you for crafting with me today. Once again, everything we talked about is going to be in that description box below this video. As always, I always appreciate a thumbs up if you could do it. And if you just found me, I hope you will subscribe. Have a fabulous day, everyone, and remember to always make room for a little magic. Bye for now.